birds. They're breaking the deal. It's like the pigeons decided to ignore me.
So they're like everyone else.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Seinfeld moments.
Why don't you give me your home number and I'll call you later?
Well, I'm sorry. We're not allowed to do that.
Oh, I guess you don't want people calling you at home.
No.
Well, now you know how I feel.
For this list, we're looking at the most memorable scenes or one-off bits from this classic sitcom. Since many plot points and punchlines will be discussed, consider this your spoiler alert. Which absurd gag or ridiculous situation is your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10. Festivus. After Frank Costanza fought another man for a Christmas toy, he invented this anti-consumerist holiday.
What is Festivus?
It's nothing. It's nothing.
When George was growing
Jerry,
up,
no.
his father hated all the commercial and religious aspects of Christmas, so he made up his own holiday.
Oh, and another piece of the puzzle falls into place.
An old tape recording and other hints proved this unique family tradition deeply scarred his son George.
I brought one of the cassette tapes.
Read that poem.
I can't read it. I need my glasses.
You don't need glasses, you're just weak. You're weak.
Leave him alone!
When Kramer convinces Frank to revive the celebration, the younger Costanza initially refuses to attend. But after George is caught giving out fake donations to a made-up charity, he has to take his boss to Festivus to get out of this sticky situation.
I don't really celebrate Christmas. I celebrate Festivus.
Feminist.
Festivus, sir.
Watching this ridiculous holiday play out was hilarious. We loved learning about everything from the airing of grievances to the feats of strength. While George may hate this holiday, it was great to see him experience it.
Good thinking, Cougar.
Until you pin me, George, Festivus is not over.
Oh, please, somebody stop this.
Let's rumble!
Number 9. Jerry and George explain a shrinking phenomenon. While on vacation in the Hamptons, Jerry's girlfriend Rachel accidentally walks in on George as he changes out of his bathing suit. Thanks to the cold water, a certain part of his body appears smaller than normal.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, I thought this was the baby's room. I'm really sorry.
But Rachel thinks this is normal for George, and even laughs before running off. The debate on whether women are aware of how cold temperature can affect men is great on its own.
Significant shrinkage.
So you feel you were shortchanged?
Yes. I mean, if she thinks that's me, she's under a complete misapprehension. That was not me, Jerry. That was not me.
But the best part of the scene comes when Elaine walks by. She seems clueless of the cold phenomenon known as shrinkage. When Elaine finally gets what Jerry and George are talking about, she delivers a perfect punchline we'll never forget.
Why does it shrink?
It just does.
I don't know how you guys walk around with those things.
Number 8. George's mother catches him at a bad time. As Jerry, Elaine, and Kramer are hanging out in their go-to restaurant, a sullen George enters and explains that his mother caught him while he was trying to spend some time alone.
My mother caught me.
Caught you? Doing what?
You know. I was alone.
You mean?
The scene he describes is tragic and absolutely hilarious. Even his friends can't help but laugh.
Nobody was there. They're supposed to be working. My mother had a glamour magazine. I started leaving.
Glamour?
This leads George to vow to abstain from certain adult activities from now on.
Glamour?
All right, I'll tell you this, though. I am never doing that again.
While most of the episode focuses on an infamous contest, the episode's high point comes from Estelle Costanza. She gives an absurdly funny recounting of the incident from her perspective. Not only does she humiliate him about what he did, she also even gets in some digs about his employment status.
You have nothing better to do at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? I go out for a quart of milk. I come home and find my son treating his body like it was an amusement park.
George's humiliation was ultimately a great foundation for an iconic Seinfeld story. Number 7. The Switch. While a comedian would ideally be with someone who likes to laugh, Jerry's new girlfriend Sandy never even chuckles.
To me, there's just something about a monster in a blazer. I mean, it shows at least he's making an effort.
That's funny.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
However, her roommate Laura has the perfect giggle. Their differing reactions make Jerry want to date his girlfriend's roommate instead.
Do you realize in the entire history of Western civilization, no one has successfully accomplished the roommate switch? In the Middle Ages, you could get locked up for even suggesting it.
Despite George's insistence that it cannot be done, they brainstorm how to make Jerry's dream a reality. They even settle on an elaborate scheme that involves the comedian asking to spend some time with both women at once.
So I tell Sandy that I want to have a menage a trois with her and her roommate.
That's right.
And you believe this course of action will have a two-pronged effect.
Jerry thought his girlfriend Sandy would cut things off for suggesting the idea. In a surprising twist, she and Laura are totally game, but Jerry isn't. Hearing the comedian freak out about this plan succeeding made for a surprising and memorable end to this plotline.
I have to dress different, I have to act different. I have to grow a mustache and get all kinds of robes and lotions and... I need a new bedspread, new curtains. I'd have to get thick carpeting and weirdo lighting.
Number 6. Elaine's angry inner monologue.
I'm close to a job here. It's my second interview.
All right, Biff. Elaine, merry-go-round.
I can't. I'm the best man.
Since Seinfeld is set in New York City, we were bound to get an episode set on the sprawling subway system. Each character's mission leads them on unique and quirky journeys. But Elaine's storyline arguably has the best payoff.
What's ironic? This. That we've come all this way. We made all this progress, but, you know, we lost the little things, the niceties. No, I mean, what does ironic mean?
While she's stuck trying to get to a wedding where she's supposed to be the best man, her train gets stuck. Elaine immediately starts worrying she'll miss the ceremony and ruin everything.
I feel something rubbing against me. These disgusting animals. These people should be in a cage. We are in a cage. What if I miss the wedding? I got the ring. What do you do? You can't get married without a ring.
As Julia Louis-Dreyfus delivers a fantastic silent performance, we hear increasingly over-the-top narration that represents her thoughts. The scene crescendos with a side-splitting and very vulgar exclamation from Elaine.
It's a nightmare! Help me! Move it! Come on, move this thing! Why isn't it moving? What could go wrong with a train? It's on tracks! There's no traffic! How could a train get stuck? Step on the gas!
Number 5. George's reverse Ahab. Jerry starts this wild plotline when he bumps into a woman named Diane. When she asks about George, the comedian says his aimless friend is a marine biologist.
Marine biology?
George is a marine biologist?
Yeah, pretty damn good one, too.
I can't believe it. I would never have thought.
Yeah, he's specializing in whales.
Naturally, George keeps up this pretense when she calls. He even manages to meet Diane and take a romantic stroll along the beach. Everything goes great, until they come upon a crowd of people gathered around a distressed whale.
What's going on over here? There's a beached whale. She's dying.
Is anyone here a marine biologist?
In what may be Mr. Costanza's finest hour, he bravely proceeds to save the animal in order to keep up his ruse. As if that wasn't funny enough, the moment ends with George epically recounting his triumph at the coffee shop.
I said, easy, big fella. And then, as I watched him struggling, I realized that something was obstructing its breathing. From where I was standing, I could see directly into the eye of the great fish.
Mammal.
Whatever.
Jason Alexander's incredible range and precision nail the scene like a blowhole in one.
I could barely see from the waves crashing down upon me, but I knew something was there. So I reached my hand in, felt around, and pulled out the obstruction.
Number 4. A new euphemism.
Nice girl.
Lovely.
I noticed she's big on the phrase yada yada.
This episode created one of the most famous interjections in television history. George's new girlfriend Marcy cuts out long or explicit details in her story by saying yada yada yada.
So, I'm on 3rd Avenue, minding my own business, and yada yada yada. I get a free massage and a facial.
Wow. What a succinct story.
Afterwards, he makes the baffling decision to use this phrase to skip over the specifics of what happened to his deceased fiancée.
We bought the wedding invitations, and, yada, yada, yada. I'm still single.
So what's she doing now?
Yada.
From this point on, yada yada is used by several characters to gloss over things that should definitely be discussed openly. Watching the characters try to figure out what's really being said makes for a ton of great comedic moments. Once again, Julia Louis-Dreyfus steals the show with a pitch-perfect delivery and usage of yada yada yada.
I met this lawyer, we went out to dinner, I had the lobster bisque, we went back to my place, yada yada yada, I never heard from him again.
But you yada yada over the best part.
No, I mentioned the bisque.
Number 3, Kramer's talk show.
This is the set from the old Merv Griffin show. They must be throwing it out. This stuff belongs in the Smithsonian.
Yeah, at least in the dumpster behind the Smithsonian.
The show's talent for meta humor reached new heights when Kramer stumbled across the set of an old talk show in a dumpster.
Well, Elaine Bennis. Well, it's great to have you. Wait, is it possible that you're even more beautiful than the last time I saw you?
He manages to get everything set up in his apartment and proceeds to act as if he's hosting an actual television program. When Jerry, Elaine, or George pop in, Kramer treats them like guests.
Now, you and Jerry dated for a while. Tell us, what was that like?
It's wrong card.
While this fourth wall-shattering bit is great on its own, the best part of his fake show comes when he invites an animal trainer over. Just as Kramer's meta episode spirals out of control, George arrives with a squirrel. This prompts the hawk the animal trainer brought to attack the poor Costanza.
Mr. Fowler, I have a squirrel here that is a miracle of modern science.
George, I told you, we're booked.
Careful. Hawks and squirrels don't get along together.
Ooh, another interesting confrontation. This could be spicy. Yeah, George, bring him over.
The expression on his face as the bird flies in made for one of the show's funniest endings. Number 2, no soup for you.
There's a soup stand. Kramer's been going there.
He's always raving. I finally got a chance to go there the other day, and I tell you this, you will be stunned.
Stunned by soup?
You can't eat this soup standing up, your knees buckle.
Of all the show's episodic antagonists, this mustached purveyor of liquid lunches is one of the most iconic. This episode sees the gang try out the hottest new lunch spot in Manhattan.
Has anyone ever told you look exactly like Al Pacino? You know, Scent of a Woman? Hoo-ah! Hoo-ah!
Very good. Very good. You know something? No soup for you!
But they can only eat if they make it past the restaurant's owner. This harsh chef doesn't allow customers who break his specific rules to eat his soup.
How can I tolerate any less from my customer?
Gazpacho, por favor.
Por favor?
Oh, I'm part Spanish.
Adios, muchacho.
Unfortunately, George draws the ire of this culinary expert. When he realizes his bread is missing, Jerry tries to warn his friend against saying a word. But George's attempts to get bread result in his soup getting taken away.
I think you forgot my bread.
Bread, $2 extra.
$2, but everyone in front of me got free bread.
You want bread?
Yes, please.
$3! What? No soup for you!
The perfect comedic timing, ridiculous setup, and excellent performances add up to a delicious scene almost as good as the gazpacho. Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. George's comeback fail. His rehearsed retort instantly fails to impress.
Well, the jerk store called. They're running out of you.
What's the difference? You're their all-time bestseller.
Can you spare a square? We'll never forget when Jerry's girlfriend refused to share TP with Elaine.
Well, I don't need much. Just 3 squares will do it.
I'm sorry, I don't have 3 squares now, if you don't mind.
3 squares? You can't spare 3 squares?
No, I don't have a square to spare. I can't spare a square.
Elaine's awful dancing. Her dancing horrifies and entertains us. George loses his hair. Watching Elaine toss George's toupee out the window was amazing.
No, I don't like this thing! And here's what I'm doing with it!
Jerry's puffy shirt. Jerry accidentally agrees to wear a goofy-looking shirt for a TV appearance.
You gonna be wearing the puffy shirt at the concert?
Look, it's not my shirt.
Whose shirt is it?
What's the difference? I agreed to wear it. It's a puffy shirt. I feel ridiculous in it. And I think it's the stupidest shirt I've ever seen, to be perfectly honest with you.
Number 1. Kramer loses the contest.
Care to make it interesting?
Sure, how much?
$100?
You're on.
Wait a second. Count me in on this.
You? Yeah, you'll be out before we get the check.
During a contest where the gang sees who can remain master of their domain the longest, Jerry and Kramer get a new neighbor. She just so happens to have a penchant for walking around her apartment in her birthday suit without curtains.
Hey, look at this. Come here. There's a naked woman across the street.
Where?
Second floor from the top. See the window on the left?
Who walks around the house like that?
The guys are immediately stunned when they learn about her apartment habits. While Jerry and George remain frozen, Kramer makes an uncharacteristic and quiet exit. We almost forget about him while Elaine teases the boys. Suddenly, Kramer re-enters, slams his money down, and declares he lost the contest.
I'm out.
This surprising punchline caused us to erupt with laughter. While Kramer lost the contest, the character won over audiences with this simple and very effective joke.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm out of the contest.
You're out?
Yeah.
Wow, that was fast.
Well, it was that woman across the street. You know, you better be careful, buddy. She's gonna get you next.
Watch all 180 episodes of Seinfeld anytime on Netflix.